The case that we're talking about here today is Ashcroft v. Abbasi. And essentially what's taking place here is you have a group of individuals who were arrested in the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks, principally for immigration law violations, and were held under restrictive conditions of confinement in the New York Metropolitan Detention Center. And their claim is a claim for money damages against a variety of federal and state officials. These three individuals are bringing a Bivens claim. A Bivens claim is a judicially inferred remedy for damages against federal officials who are alleged to have violated the constitutional rights of an individual. And their claim is these individuals should be held liable for money damage because their substantive due process and equal protection rights were violated because they were held in these restrictive conditions of confinement. The core question, does Bivens apply in the unique context of post 9/11 and the immigration law violations for which these individuals were picked up for, even though they may not have had direct connections to terrorism? Qualified immunity grants officials immunity against even the constitutional violation unless a reasonable person could have known that there was clearly established law and that their actions violate that clearly established law. The real questions are, is there in fact a clearly established law here? And would a reasonable officer have known that their conduct would violate that clearly established law? Here in this case, however, we're talking about a sort of a national policy, the hold until cleared policy, the national policy to pursue immigration violators and to hold them until they were cleared of suspected terrorist activity or potential connections to terrorism. A lot of the debate in this case is about the intent of the officials involved, and we're acting with sort of, racial animus or religious bigotry or some dislike of these individuals because of their national origin, us being in the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. And there was a real fear that there were follow-on attacks coming, and that if there were people here in the United States who were illegally and may have had a connection to terrorism or had some relationship to the leads in 9/11 or any other reason, it was important to identify these individuals, hold them on a legal basis, right? Which was to say they're violations of immigration law, they were here illegally, and determine whether in fact there was a connection. You didn't want to have a situation where there were people that were suspected of or that could potentially have been involved in terrorism activities, here illegally in the United States, and then not act. The plaintiffs in this case would argue that it's important to hold senior level decision makers in the government liable for their actions, and even high level policy decisions like these when they result in unconstitutional actions. At the same time, holding a senior level official liable personally in money damages is a very aggressive methodology for policing up potential actions in the aftermath of a national security incident, particularly of the scale and scope of the 9/11 attacks.